Hi, dear children. So, today we are going to learn a beautiful poem from Unit 6 No Men Are Foreign, written by James Falconer Kirkup. So, who is this James Falconer Kirkup? So, he is an English poet, not only a poet, translator, and travel writer too. And he was born in 1918 and died in 2009. He was born as James Harold Kirkup, and later his name changed to James Falconer Kirkup. And he wrote over 30 books, including autobiographies, novels, and plays. And he wrote his first book of poetry, The Drowned Sailor, which was published in 1947. Then he left England in 1956 to live and work in Europe, America, and the Far East. He settled in Japan for 30 years, lecturing in English literature at several universities. And he has won many awards such as Atlantic Rockefeller Award in 1950, Japan PEN Club International Literary Prize in 1965, Batchelor Award for Translation in 1968, Keats Prize in 1974, Scott Moncrief Prize for Translation in 1993, and he became a Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature in 1962. So, No Men Are Foreign was published in the year 1966. What does this poem teach us? Come on, let us learn. Let me give you some key points of this poem. This poem tells us why we must not hate our brothers and sisters who live in different countries of the world. No man or country is strange. Beneath the various colors of uniform, it is the same human body. The earth that every human walks on is the same. The others around the world depend on the same air, water, and sun. They eat out of peaceful harvests and are starved during war. Their hands have the same lines of hard work. Their eyes see, sleep, and wake like ours. Like everyone else, the strength can be overcome by loving each other. The common life is understood by everyone. We must remember, if we try to hate others, it means we hate ourselves. When we try to use weapons against others, we are ruining human beings and the earth. Fire and dust destroy the purity of air that belongs to all. So we must remember that no one is our enemy or foreigner, and no country is a strange land on this earth. Let us read the whole poem once. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. Beneath all uniforms a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is the earth like this, in which we all shall lie. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by war's long winter starve. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, our labor not different from our own. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no country is strange. Now let us learn figures of speech from this poem. The poet has used 5 different figures of speech in this poem: simile, alliteration, metaphor, transfer epithet, and repetition. So let us learn one by one. First, simile. A simile is a figure of speech that directly compares two different things. The simile is usually in a phrase that begins with the words as or like. So let me give you an example from the poem. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon. So in this line, the word like is used. So like is simile. So what is metaphor? A metaphor is a figure of speech that is used to make a comparison between two things that aren't alike but do have something in common. Now, most of the time simile and metaphor both confuse us. Okay, so here look at this, simile and metaphor. Similes use the words like or as to compare things. Example, life is like a box of chocolates. In contrast, metaphors directly state a comparison. Life is a chocolate box. So next is transfer epithet. It is a figure of speech in which an epithet grammatically qualifies a noun other than the person or a thing. So look at that example. By war's long winter starved. Winter, starved, is the transfer epithet used here. Winter is not starved here. Do you know what is meant by starved? Starvation, in Tamil, patini. So winter is not starved here, but the people are starved. So this is transferred epithet. Next, alliteration. I hope you know very well what is alliteration. So look at this line here. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. So let us pick out the alliterated words here. Repetition. It is a literary device that repeats the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer. So this is repetition. Look at this example. These two lines are the beginning and the end of the poem. First line is the beginning of the poem and the second line is the end of the poem. So the word remember has been used 5 times by the poet. Do you know why? To make the idea clearer that everyone on this earth is same. So we are same in the sight of the Lord. So to urge that idea, he has used this word remember again and again. So this is repetition. Now it's time for explanation. So listen to me keenly. First, 1 to 4 lines. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon, is the earth like this in which we all shall lie. So the poet tells that men are not different from each other simply on the basis that they come from separate countries. They may fight for the army of their country, but underneath the uniform, they are all similar. Our opponent army soldiers live and breathe just as we do. Most fights between two countries result from dispute over a piece of land. However, all the land on earth is the same. Moreover, every man will have to lie in the earth at one time or the other. That is, all men have to die, and all pieces of land are potential graveyards in which they fight. 5 to 8 lines. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. So the poet gives further evidence of the unity of man. He says that those who live in other countries also depend on the same sun, air, and water for their survival. They too have seen peace and war. During a peaceful period, they have a good harvest and food products. Similarly, during the war period, just like a long winter, availability of food will be scarce, resulting in famine. They look just like us and are descended from the same ancestors as we are. 9 to 12. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. The poet urges us to keep in mind the fact that our opponents sleep and wake like we do, and follow a similar type of lifestyle. Every human being has an inner resource of strength that he can use to help his fellow beings. However, that resource can only be unlocked by following the path of love. When we love someone, then only we stand up for them. That is why it is necessary for every man to love his fellow beings without creating divisions amongst them. Despite the differences between various nations, there is one thing that they all have in common. The common people live the same kind of life everywhere. Therefore, we can recognize the presence of that life no matter where we travel in this wide world. 13 to 15. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. The poet disagrees against the efforts of military and religious groups that encourage us to wage wars. Those groups are misguiding their own people. They are asking their followers to hate their opponents without realizing that they are our own brothers. It is a form of self-destruction. Any hatred that we show on any member of the human race is equivalent to our betrayal towards the people. If we kill people of any other country, we are endangering human beings as a whole and their survival on the earth. 16 and 17. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. The poet specifies the impacts of war. If we, the guardians of the earth, were to die out as a result of the war, then there would no one be left to take care of the home that our ancestors had passed down to us. We would then have nothing to pass down to our future generation. 18 to 20, last three lines. Our hells of fire and thirst outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no country is strange. So here the poet compares wartime with hell. In war as in hell, there is fire and smoke everywhere. As a result of this, the earth is becoming poisoned. The very air that we breathe is becoming impure and will not be able to sustain human life for much longer. That is why the poet encourages us not to wage war on our fellow men, thinking that they are foreigners and that their countries are unlike our own. Here ends the poem. So, dear children, what lesson have we learned from this poem? We have learned the oneness of mankind. Though there are many countries, races, color, languages, castes, and creeds, every human in this world is the same. All are human beings. We occupy the same land and die in the same land. Hands work hard, eyes witness the same life. We are all fed by peaceful harvests. Attacking others who are neighbors in the same planet is nothing but harming oneself. Hence, no land is foreign, no man is a stranger. Thank you so much.
Yeah.